Bonnie, Bonnie, Bonnie. Your facial expressions were quite amazing in this episode.
Pokemon! 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 Pokemon!
Hello everyone, I'm Dustin, and welcome to another Pokemon XY&Z anime discussion. So before I continue and talk about the episode and review it and everything, I just want to let you know that I'm making this particular video now. I did make an apology type video indicating that the Pokenechi thing or whatever did not reveal anything, and I'm sorry if I made you believe that there was something going to be revealed. I definitely apologize for that completely. That being said, I don't want to get into much of it. I'm a little disappointed for a multitude of reasons that it doesn't really matter. If you want to know, ask me in the comments and I'll let you know there. But that being said, I'm not entirely sure. I'm looking for Koro this coming week. Probably because I don't really expect anything. Within a week we should get Koro, but as I said, I'm not really expecting anything because of what happened with Pokenechi and everything in regards to how Nintendo is handling Pokemon Sun and Moon. Anyway, enough about Pokemon Sun and Moon. Let's get right into the review. So, I'm going to hopefully make this review a little bit short. I'll go through the summary as quickly as I can and go through on because there's some other things I want to discuss and everything, such as the upcoming episodes. So, basically, the summary starts with Bonnie sleeping in a bed, Clemont wearing some sort of tuxedo of some sort, walking up to Bonnie, and Clemont says something, I think something about a wedding or married or something. Bonnie freaks out, and then Clemont leaves, and then we see this really cute image of doll images of Clemont and Bonnie, which is really nice. And then, of course, Bonnie reaches the chapel or whatever, and then she suddenly wakes up. It was all a dream. And she's like, whatever. So then anyway, it cuts into everyone brushing their teeth and everyone morning, I guess it's in the morning or something like that. Everyone's woken up and everything. And then Pancham, Bunnelby, Pikachu, Dedenne, and Chespin are playing with a ball. Then Chespin kicks it far away. Then Bunnelby looks for it, runs into a Baniri. Baniri has a crush on Bunnelby because they're bunny Pokemon. They have a relation being bunny-like Pokemon, so of course Baniri would fall in love with Bunnelby for whatever reason. And of course we find out that Lila, or whatever her name is the owner of Bunnelby, and that's the scientist girl. And of course Bonnie goes, Kipu! S'il vous plaît? And of course Lila says something that indicates that she's interested in Bonnie for whatever reason, is freaking out, I guess. So then, of course, everyone's talking to Lila and talking about how she's a robotics person and looking for a partner. Then, of course, we see Bonnie acting all upset, telling Ash in her breath to shut up, Ash, shut up, stop making it seem like it's a good thing. Then, of course, Clemont shows off his inventions, the Apom arm. And then, of course, then it cuts to the dream area where it's actually revealed that the bride is Lila from earlier. And then we get this hilarious parody of, I'm assuming that it's a parody of Apple. The only problem that I have with it is, why is Apple in basically a Nintendo product? I mean, I know Nintendo doesn't completely own Pokemon, but they do have some stock in it, and I don't know what Nintendo has anything to do with the actual anime or anything of that nature, but it's kind of weird that we get this Apple parody. It's got like an apple, it's got like the Apple logo basically. At least I think that's what that is. And I think it might be a joke. It might be like a jab at Apple in general, saying that Apple is an evil company because Apple stole Clemont from Bonnie's brother away from her or whatever. Then we get this really cool shocked image of Bonnie in her fantasy. And then it cuts to this after they're married kind of moment where Lila brings Clemont his tea or whatever you want to call that, and then they sit next to each other and they each have like half a heart on their overalls, I believe is what it's called, or their aprons or whatever it is, and it creates a whole heart. Bonnie's all like shocked and everything. Oh no, am I dreaming? And then she asks Serina to pinch her cheeks as well as Dende doing that. Lila then gets hungry, so then Clemont shows her a food making machine. Still all these funny expressions with Bonnie and Dende copying her. And then, of course, we see Bunnelby and Baneri. Bunnelby's like, oh, why? Why is this my life? Why can't I be left alone? First Eevee/Sylveon, and now Baneri. Why? Well, anyway, then Pancham and Chessman get all jealous, blah, blah, blah. They fail with the punch with the Baneri's ear. Then it's Team Rocket. Jessie, imagine Baneri next to her. So they want to capture Baneri. Then it cuts to Bonnie being upset with Lila again. And then it cuts to another fantasy of the future where they're next to each other. They're all happy and Lila's feeding Clemont food. You know, at this particular point, I thought there was actually going to be kissing in this fantasy between Lila and Clemont. And I'm just like, why don't we ever get that for like Serina and Ash? Or I don't know if it's because Clemont might be older than Ash and Serina, but I'm not really sure. So anyway, Bonnie gets really upset, and then Dede does one of the funniest things in the episode. He gets like really mad at too, and then he's like goes up to Lila and he rubs his cheeks to do nuzzle, I believe, and then shocks Lila. And then we see Clemont yelling at Dedenne. He's like, Dedenne! You know, and getting all upset. But Lila's okay with that. Bonnie actually tells good job to Dedenne. Kind of like, you know, the joke where you have this like really nasty neighbor telling you off for walking your dog. Your neighbor gets upset when your dog makes a mess on the neighbor's lawn, and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. But then when the neighbor's like away, you're like, good dog, you know, because you really hate your neighbor or whatever. So anyway, Serina, I believe, says something like, hey, Bonnie, look, your marriage proposal worked. And then Bonnie's like, oh, right, I forgot. Women actually might agree to my proposal. You know, this whole episode is weird. And I'll tell you why after I'm done with this summary, but this whole episode is weird. So, Bunnelby, Baneri, and their trainers go walking along, fall in love. Yeah, that's what happens. They fall in love, they get married. Bonnie never sees Clemont ever again. The end of the episode. So, did you like it? No. They fall into a hole, and Team Rock is watching. Clemont helps, adds bandages or whatever. Then Bonnie's all like, takes Lila to talk to her and tries to make Clemont out to be some weirdo. Like, I think some translation said that Bonnie's all like, did you know he wet the bed? And then Lila's like, oh, that's adorable. And then Bonnie's like, oh yeah, but he has this Arbok fetish or whatever where he loves to be molested or whatever Bonnie said by Arbok. And then Lila's like, oh, that's right, Arbok has a really nice body or nice feeling body or whatever. And Bonnie is all like, and she's like failing at all the times trying to make her brother look unappealing or whatever. But I think Lila instantly saw through that and was just playing along with her. At least I'd like to hope that's what Lila was doing rather than being that kind of fetish or creepy or whatever. So anyway, Bonnie's still upset, blah, 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 blah. So then, of course, they fall into a hole and they get up. Then they realize it's Team Rocket. Team Rocket did the hole again. Team Rocket capture Bunnelby and Baneri, and they go off onto an adventure, basically, while everyone is trying to escape the hole. Now, this is the part that I don't really like, and it kind of makes the later part not make any sense, but Bonnie's like asking for her brother's help, and Clemont directly goes and helps out Lila to the point that Bonnie has to swing her arms really fast and basically windmill her body out of the hole, basically. And then Clemont shows off his device, and then he goes and tracks things. And this is where we get into something very creepy. And I'm sure it doesn't mean anything, but why in the world does Clemont have bandages that can be tracked by a device? When I first saw this, I was like, oh my god, Clemont, you creepy person. You're gonna stalk that girl, aren't you, you creepy person. You know? And Bumblebee also has a thing, but that was very creepy to have Lila's bandages like glowing, indicating that it's being tracked. I'm surprised Lila just didn't creep out that moment. I'm pretty sure any normal woman would be like, my bandages can be tracked by some kind of device. Rip. Alright, well, I'll just get another Baneri. Okay, see you later, bye. Abandon all Baneri by this point. But anyway, so they use the device to track Team Rocket. Team Rocket are like surprised. There are some criticisms that I definitely do have about this episode. But anyway, we get into a fight, and then of course Bonnie falls. And like I said, this is weird. Suddenly, Clemont's like, "Oh no, Bonnie!" And then decides to go out of his way to save Bonnie. The Apom starts to fail. Lila's trying to help, as well as Luxray. And then Bonnie is saved, and everything's happy. Then we get a very touching brother-sister moment. And then Team Rocket are blasted off, thanks to Pikachu. And I believe that's it. Breakson helped or whatever. And then, of course, we get this really cool moment of an adorable Inkay with its horrible trainer that James doesn't deserve Inkay. Oh, wait, that's a 2014 or 2013 complaint. Sorry, my bad. So anyway, Lila is reunited with her Baneri. And then, of course, she's like, well, I gotta move on, so it's nice meeting you, or whatever. We get more touching moments with Bonnie holding her brother's hands, and Baneri gets a sad departing moment. And then, basically, the episode ends with Clemont trying to fix his Apom arm. But, basically, there's a missing screw, and it basically blows up, and that's the end of the episode. So, the good things about this episode is Bonnie's expressions throughout the whole entire episode, and there was a whole bunch of other expressions not just limited to Bonnie. Like, there was this expression that I'm unfortunately not going to be able to get that had Team Rocket in this very awesome drawn photo. You're going to have to watch the episode or look somewhere else to find it, because I'm not going to be able to find it. I mean, I could get the images that are there, but it's not part of the images that I usually get, so unfortunately you're just gonna have to miss out on that one. And as decent as this episode was, because I did laugh, because this was a very good episode for what it was, here are some of the problems that I have with this particular episode. One, I still do not understand Bonnie's change of attitude. You know, I mean, the thing is, in the very beginning of the episode, Bonnie has a nightmare of her brother getting married. And so she's like, passes it off like, oh, that doesn't mean anything. Now, this could be a recurring dream, as far as I know. It probably might not be. But Bonnie's afraid of Clemont being married. So then, of course, back to Lila. Lila's like, Bonnie's all like, Kipu, s'il vous plaît. And then Lila doesn't reject Bonnie's proposal. And then Bonnie's like, oh no, what's going on? And then she gets all upset. I'm like, you know, if this happened and Lila wasn't... See, the thing is, the nightmare happened at the wrong time. Here's what should have happened, and it would have made more sense. They meet Lila in the beginning. Bonnie proposes to Lila. Lila sort of accepts, saying, oh, she's looking for a partner. or whatever the case may be. And then Bonnie's like really excited and happy. Then she has the nightmare and realizes, oh no, this is a horrible mistake. And then that could be a problem. I find it troubling that the nightmare happened first. Bonnie continued to propose even after that nightmare, and then when the girl wasn't off-put by this proposal, she still suddenly turns into being like, oh no, what have I done? Or, well, she doesn't actually do that until Serina, I believe, says, hey, look, what do you think? This is what you've done. You proposed, and now your brother's going to get married, or something of that nature. I don't think that was quite what the dialogue was saying. But, you know, Bonnie's all like, oh, no, why? This horrible woman, or whatever. And then she's, like, trying to go out of her way to make sure that this doesn't actually happen. Now, here's another problem that I have. Why did Clemont save Lila first? Now, I realize this is to make up for the later in the episode, but I don't understand. Bonnie had to get out of the hole herself. Bonnie is short. If Lila, who is taller than the group, needed help getting out of that hole, you would think Bonnie, the shortest member of the group, would need help getting out of the hole that they were in. So you're going to tell me that Clemont, not helping Bonnie, or even Ash or Serina, decides to help Lila, the one that of the group is the most likely to get out of the hole on her own. You have to have this cheap joke of Bonnie doing some sort of crazy windmill type motion to climb out of the hole. And we don't even get any sort of animation of like Bonnie still being in the hole. I mean, okay, I'll give a little leeway here. Lila was hurting. Lila took damage from falling to a hole earlier. I can understand that Lila may not have been in the greatest position. But Bonnie somehow being in the position, that's what I have a problem with. Especially since when Bonnie is falling off a cliff, and Clemont's like, no, Bonnie, Ape go! Going out of his way to save his sister, and yet he won't help her out of a hole. I don't know. This is, like I said, this is just a very weird episode with Bonnie. Now, here's the thing that I really dislike the most about this episode, and you could argue that it's because I'm an Ash fan, and I'm playing favoritism or biased nature or whatever, and it made some sense for Clemont to be the one to save Bonnie or whatever, but why, and I know that there are some YouTubers out there who have reviewed this episode or watched it and probably came up with the same criticism, but why is Ash not using his Pokemon to save Bonnie? Or even using one of his Pokemon to blast off Team Rocket. He has Noivern and Greninja, his biggest Pokemon, followed by Talonflame, which is another fully evolved Pokemon, and he has a strong and quick Hawlucha. One of those Pokemon would have been a very decent choice to potentially help Clemont save Bonnie, or at least help battle against Team Rocket. But for whatever reason, Ash is just like, I'm just going to use Pikachu. Even Serina sends out Braixen later on to use Fire Blast, but Ash only uses Pikachu. Now, this isn't really much of a criticism because, like I said, it does make sense. But you would have to think, if someone was falling down a cliff, if you had the Pokemon, and Clemont even had Chespin, even if it was supposed to just be about Clemont, there was Chespin. Chespin could have used Vine Whip or whatever. Bunnelby could have dug in the ground and created a giant hole that Bonnie could have climbed in and then climbed through the hole out or whatever. But to go to such extremes, to act like nothing was going to happen here, or to go to such great lengths to not try and get Bonnie to be saved, and just have it be about Clemont saving, it makes me think that something like this should have happened a long time ago rather than right now. Because, like I said, Noivern easily could have caught Bonnie. Greninja could have easily caught Bonnie too, because Greninja is taller than Bonnie, probably has the strength to hold Bonnie and can easily jump agilely or whatever. Talonflame might be able to get Bonnie if Talonflame is tall enough. Hawlucha is probably strong enough to probably save Bonnie. I don't know if Hawlucha would be able to fly Bonnie back up, but Hawlucha would definitely be used to stop it. Luxray probably is strong enough to climb down the mountain and grab Bonnie. Chespin probably, with the help of Clemont and Lila, could have saved Bonnie. There's just a lot of options that would have been preferable than Clemont just relying solely on himself and his Apom arm. But otherwise, other than that, this was a very decent episode for what it was. So that's all I have to say about this particular episode, so let's move on. Apparently, I went longer than I expected, 21 minutes. Wow, I'm never going to have short videos ever. Okay, so let's move on to the next episode, which deals with Serina. Sorry I didn't really give a summary and stuff. Summaries happened like a couple of days ago or whatever, and then finally we got like a summary or a preview. I don't know why TV Tokyo and everything has been a little lacking in the summaries, because getting a summary for the Serina becomes Ash episode like only a few days before the preview doesn't really make any sense. At least I'm pretty sure that was the case. It was at least a while. It was at least after my last video. So sometime between then and now, granted there was that whole week off, and I tried to talk about Sun and Moon, so it probably came during that time, but still, you would think there would have been like a summary beforehand. But anyway, let's get through this preview. So, of course, what we get here is we get this punk rocker type person wearing makeup and jazzing out with the Pikachu themed guitar, because apparently he likes Pikachu. And then he has this Mohawk Pikachu just banging its head. And then we see Ash looking all cold. Like, the thing about this is Serina has almost the exact same expression as Ash here. If we go to this next picture with Serina, Serena's all blushing and or whatever like that, or whatever it is. And it's funny how they're almost identical. It's almost like Ash is actually saying that he doesn't want to be with Serina anymore. And then Serena's like, no. I'm just playing. So Ash is sick. Serena's all like upset, because Serina thinks Ash is going to die apparently. And then we get the punk rocker telling Pikachu to use Thunder Punch. Now, a lot of people are like, Ash, why don't you teach your Pikachu Thunder Punch? In the forums and in YouTube, on YouTube, and the Twitter. And I'm like, as interesting as Thunder Punch is, are you really wanting Ash's Pikachu to learn it? I mean, really. Shall we go over Pikachu's moveset? It has Electro Ball, Thunderbolt, Quick Attack, Iron Tail. What move would you suggest gets replaced for Thunder Punch? Because I'm pretty sure none of them make sense to be replaced by Thunder Punch. Because Iron Tail, a Steel type, is useful for certain Pokemon, and giving it another Electric type doesn't make any sense. Giving Pikachu another electric move instead of Quick Attack really doesn't make any sense. Thunderbolt is pretty much Ash's Pikachu's signature move, and Electro Ball is just some cool other move that it has that you want to replace it with Thunder Punch. I don't get the appeal in Thunder Punch. Now, if this was like Hawlucha, if Hawlucha can learn Thunder Punch, then I would understand. Yeah, why doesn't Ash have a Pokemon that can have Thunder Punch? But Pikachu, I mean, I will give some leeway to the commentators out there that want Ash's Pikachu to have Thunder Punch, this does look really like a cool animation, but Thunder Punch, that's what you want Ash's Pikachu to have? Couldn't one of Ash's Pikachu's moves be replaced by something more useful than just a physical electric type? Why not teach it Volt Tackle? We haven't seen Volt Tackle in or X and Y, so why don't we just have Pikachu learn Volt Tackle? That'd be better than Thunder Punch, honestly. I mean, I don't know. Pikachu just really isn't known for punching, and I would much rather Pikachu learn like Fire Punch or Ice Punch if it was going to learn a punch type move, because I feel like that would be more beneficial to Pikachu. But that's just my personal opinion. So then, of course, we see apparently Ash has died because Pikachu and Serina are looking at Ash's clothes, and Serena's all kind of upset and determined or whatever. So then, of course, Serena's like, oh, I'm going to become Ash. And then it's Pikachu versus Pikachu. And Serena's wearing Ash's clothing and ordering Pikachu to attack or whatever. So then let's get into the summary. Ash has caught a cold. He dies. Just kidding. Just kidding. He doesn't die. And Clemont and Bonnie have gone to buy medicine. That's why they're not in the preview, because they don't want to be around Serina now that Ash has passed away. I'm still kidding. But while they're gone, a trainer appears before Serina while she's nursing Ash. Okay. The trainer really loves Pikachu and tells her he set off on a journey to become the ultimate Pikachu trainer. Not wanting any burden on the bedridden Ash, Serina takes certain action, which is dress up like Ash and be the very best. I said that wrong. Wears Ash's clothes and orders Pikachu around. Now, a lot of people are wondering, why is Serina wearing Ash's clothes? No, I feel like there's a whole other... I feel like there's a whole bunch of reasons. One, I think the punk rocker is quite frankly sexist and wouldn't battle Serina regardless. Secondly, no, I'm only half kidding about the first one. What I really think the case is, this punk rocker or whatever actually heard of Ash and knows that he has a Pikachu, and even if Serina did have a Pikachu, he definitely doesn't want to battle Serina because he wants to battle Ash's Pikachu, and Ash's Pikachu is like one of the strongest Pikachu out there, not counting some secret champion of some region with a super uber duper Pikachu that can Iron Tail Ash's Pikachu into oblivion after one hit. So I think he heard something about Ash from traveling along. Oh yeah, there's this strong trainer with a Pikachu. His name is Ash. So this punk rocker wants to actually battle Ash. So that's why I think Serina is wearing Ash's clothing. So I feel like this is going to be a pretty decent episode, I guess. It's Serina focused with Serina pretending to be Ash, so it should be definitely interesting. That being said, I still would have preferred a body swap episode. I still would have preferred Ash being Serina and Serina being Ash, just for some hilarious hijinks or whatever, but that's that particular episode. So let's move on to the next episode, which is Ash and Alon, Greninja versus Mega Charizard once again. A lot of people are giving this title a lot of criticisms, and I neglected to mention it when I talked about it when we first got this information. But I don't really see the criticisms because there's been a lot of bad titles. I mean, let's take the episode a couple of weeks ago, like 4 weeks ago or whatever, Left and Right, the indecisive Binacle. The episode wasn't really about a Binacle being indecisive, so that was kind of misleading, So, yeah, I'm not really sure I really care about the title that much, that it really deserves the criticism, because I'm not really sure why people have a criticism against the episode title, because I remember when Ash's Phanpy hatched, the title was basically Egg Hatch, and that was basically it. So I don't know, people can not like it if they want or whatever, but I don't really see the point of disliking the title. I mean, I don't know what you would label it, because the title makes it perfectly clear that that's what this particular episode is about. In order to shed light on a mysterious phenomenon that happens to Ash and Greninja, it only took, well, let's see, the Dubs episode of Ash's Greninja appearing for the first time, not counting the Olympiad gym battles, or episodes. I'd say it's about time. They have Clemont's machines analyze them as they battle. They have battles at the Pokemon Center. What? No Noivern? No, just Greninja? Okay. And when Alon shows up at the center, Ash immediately asks him for a battle. Ash and his friends are analyzing the mysterious phenomenon that happens to Ash and Greninja at a Pokemon Center. Alon drops by the place and asks him for a battle. In order to shed light on the mysterious phenomenon that happens to Ash and Greninja, Ash and his friends decide to do an analysis of it at the Pokemon Center, using one of Clemont's inventions. So when Ash then reunites with Alon, he asks him for a battle. Now, I don't know if all you title haters out there are really complaining about, because I don't know what you think this episode's going to be about. It's clearly just going to be about Ash Greninja battling against Mega Charizard. I mean, was it supposed to be, let's find out the secrets of Ash Greninja? And Alon shows up! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. So I really don't understand the criticisms of this particular episode are in regards to the title, but I'm definitely looking forward to it, especially since this is the episode that's going to air a couple of days before my birthday. Not necessarily the episode I would have wanted, but if the following episode after that goes the way that I want it, I would definitely prefer this episode over the next episode. But anyway, speaking of the next episode, which of course is The Forest Curse and the White Phantom. So we have a couple summaries here. Ash and his friends meet a lost white phantom in a forest. They take it with them to bring it to its friends, but then Team Rocket show up to abduct it. Ash and his friends see a group of phantoms suddenly fall from the sky right before their eyes. While they want to send the phantom back to their friends, the phantom have apparently never seen the outside world before and make a huge deal out of everything they see, thinking them extremely intriguing. Now, I know what I said in the first episode, and I'm going to repeat again. Regardless of what you see me saying in the forums, as user _Dustin on Cerebi forums, regardless of how much I'm, my arguments in that particular forum, don't get me wrong, I still don't think anything is going to happen. I'm going to do live highlights of the. I'll do highlights of the Ash versus Alon episode as well, but I will do highlights for the Phantom episode, but just to warn you, far in advance, I'm probably not going to be happy when this episode airs, because I already know that the thing that I want to happen is not going to happen. Now, of course, there's Pokemon Fan coming up, and that might be the thing that blows everything out of the water, and it'll probably get me all hyped up, probably, if something does happen in regards to this episode. So this is the episode after my birthday, and this is the episode that if something did happen, I would have liked it to have been right before my birthday, but if it doesn't happen, that event that I want have happen, well, then I'm happy with Ash versus Alon being the thing before my birthday. So then after that, we get another Ash-focused episode, assuming, of course, the Phantom episode has anything to do with Ash. And, of course, it is on May 5th, the 25th episode of XY&Z. At least I'm pretty sure it's May 5th. I've gotten some contradictory information in regards to this, because apparently Naruto is not going to show up on that week, and apparently it's Golden Week for Japan, and Golden Week usually doesn't have Pokemon. So I don't know if that date is tentative or permanent, so I'm saying it's May 5th right now, but expect it to change, and if it does change, I will let you know in future videos, assuming, of course, there isn't any text confirmation when I'm editing this. So anyway, we get the next episode, and I'm also looking forward to this one. Ash versus Champion Diantha versus Mega Gardevoir. Now, here's the thing. While I am looking for this episode, I'm not really sure I wanted this right now, because I don't know what's going to happen in regards to Ash versus Wolfric, and I'm really hoping that they're not just putting Ash versus, or not Ash versus Ash, Ash episode after Ash episode after Ash episode, because if Phantom goes the way that I think it's going to go, that would mean that this would be 3 episodes in a row with Ash, and we don't even know the episode after the Diantha episode. So I'm hoping that they're just going to take a small episode break after this before we get into Snowbell City, because if the next episode is the gym battle or it's about Wolfric, it's going to be a little too heavy on Ash, and I'm not sure I'm going to like that. Ash is my favorite character, and I like Focus, but a lot of things that I'm seeing here are, well, I don't think Noivern's going to show up in any of these particular episodes. Probably not Talonflame, and so it's unknown what's actually going to happen in the future. But anyway, here is the summary for the Diantha episode. Ash and his friends continue their journey towards Snowbell City in order to get the final badge. But then the Kalos region's champion Diantha comes by. According to Diantha, there is a prophecy. This might be where we get to see Olympia and Zygarde in that screenshot that we saw in the upcoming episodes preview. The Kalos, there is a prophecy saying that the crisis will strike the Kalos region in the near future. She then goes on to tell him that when that happens, Ash and his friends are the ones holding the key to it all. Which I believe might be in relation to Ash Greninja or Puny-chan. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen there. If this is in relation to Team Flare, then I'm definitely looking forward to this particular episode. But all of this Ash focus is getting a little ridiculous. In regards to the Ash versus Lawn, I really hope it's not as cut and jut as it was when the other episode comes out. When the other episode came out, it was like really interesting, but when you watched it, it felt like it was stitched together from various episodes, like 2 or 3 of them. So I'm hoping that this one is a little paced better and it makes a little bit more sense, so that it's not just some weird Jigsaw-like episode. So that's all I have to say in regards to the episode. So look forward to these particular episodes. Koro and Pokemon Fan might be coming out soon. Koro before Pokemon Fan. I don't know if Pokemon Fan is coming out, but it's been February since their last Pokemon Fan, so I guess we'll have to see if we're going to get any information. Pokemon Fan should definitely hint at what's going to happen in the Phantom episode and probably reveal a lot of information, maybe including some May episodes, like the gym battle that we'll probably get. Or they'll probably completely ignore Phantom and go straight to the gym. Regardless, hopefully we get a lot of information in regards to Pokemon Fan. As for Koro, like I said in the beginning of this video, I'm not entirely sure. I'm expecting a lot because of them marketing things horribly, in my opinion, and not making any sense, that they're probably not going to show very much in regards to Koro, but I guess we'll have to wait and see when that happens. So I'll keep an eye out for Koro, and I will discuss it when it comes out, as well as Pokemon Fan, and look forward to next week's review of Serina becoming Ash. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Dustin Benzel, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!